Get your rabbit ass out my motherfucking sink before I turn this shit on. You don't do that here. We don't do that.
Seconds. 26 seconds.
Odin.
30 seconds. Okay, Siwa. If you don't complete this.
Right, bud, you ready? Go get it! Stand up! Stand up! Muy bien. Muy bien.
Mira. How can you do this?
Come on! Ay! Louie!
Y'all, my cat fucking stuck in the fucking floor. Get. Oh, she really stuck, dude.
And her head is kind of fat.
Yes. She really fucking stuck. Oh my god, I'm so scared.
Okay.
Go.
Me.
Fletcher, can you open the cabinet?
Every morning with Bai is a little adventure, but one particular morning became one of the funniest memories we and Apos, VE, ever shared. The sun had only begun to peek through the curtains when I heard the familiar sound of tiny paws tapping across the wooden floor. Usually, Bai would gently nudge my hand or quietly sit beside my bed, waiting for me to wake up. But that morning was completely different. I kept my eyes closed, pretending to be asleep. Silence. Then tap, tap, tap. I could feel Bai carefully climbing onto the bed. Instead of licking my face like he usually did, he walked in tiny circles around my pillow. I almost smiled, but I stayed perfectly still. Suddenly, I heard a strange squeaky noise. Squeak, squeak, squeak. I slowly opened one eye. Bai was proudly holding his favorite yellow rubber duck in his mouth. Every time he bit it, the duck squeaked loudly. He looked at me, tilted his head, and squeaked it again as if saying, end quote, "Come on, wake up. The day is waiting," end quote. I couldn't and Apos, help but laugh. The moment Bai heard my laugh, his tail became a fluffy helicopter. It wagged so fast that his whole body wiggled from side to side. Mission accomplished. Or so I thought. Instead of stopping, Bai bounced off the bed, disappeared into the living room, and returned carrying one toy after another. First came his tennis ball, then his stuffed rabbit, then a rope toy almost longer than he was. He carefully lined them all up beside my bed like a tiny toy exhibition. I laughed even harder. Bai barked softly, almost proudly, as if he had spent hours planning this morning's surprise. Good morning, indeed. After breakfast, I decided to make coffee while Bai followed me everywhere like my furry little shadow. Normally, he waits patiently in the kitchen. Not today. The moment I picked up my coffee mug, Bai suddenly grabbed one of my socks from the laundry basket and sprinted through the house. End quote. Bai, end quote. He glanced back. His eyes sparkled with mischief. Instead of running away completely, he slowed down just enough for me to almost catch him, then zoomed away again. It became the world and Apos' slowest game of chase. He wasn't Apos, trying to steal the sock forever. He simply wanted me to follow him. Every few seconds he stopped, looked over his shoulder, wagged his tail, and waited. When I got close, zoom, off he went again. Eventually, he dropped the sock right in the middle of the living room and sat down proudly. As if to say, end quote, wasn't it Apos? That fun, end quote. Before I could answer, Bai suddenly rolled onto his back. All four paws pointed toward the ceiling. His tongue hung out dramatically. He stayed perfectly still. I gasped dramatically. End quote. Oh no. What happened to Bai? End quote. Without moving anything except one eye, he secretly peeked at me. I burst into laughter. The moment he realized I was laughing, he jumped up, spun in 3 fast circles, and zoomed around the couch like a race car. Then came his greatest performance. He discovered his own reflection in the glass door. He bounced toward it. The other end quote, dog end quote, bounced too. Bai froze. His ears stood straight up. He took one careful step. The reflection copied him. He tilted his head left. The reflection did exactly the same. Bai barked once. The reflection barked silently. Confused but determined, Bai playfully bowed, inviting his mysterious new friend to play. When the end quote, other dog end quote, bowed back, Bai became wildly excited. He jumped, spun, playbowed again, even gave a tiny happy bark. Watching him invent an imaginary friendship with his own reflection was one of the funniest things I had ever seen. I laughed until tears filled my eyes. Bai looked incredibly proud. He probably believed he had just introduced me to his newest best friend. After all the excitement, Bai finally became tired. He climbed beside me on the couch while I finished my coffee. The house became peaceful again. Sunlight warmed the living room. Birds chirped outside the window. Bai rested his head on my lap with a long, satisfied sigh. I gently scratched behind his ears. He looked up at me with those warm brown eyes that always seemed to ask one simple question. End quote. Are you happy? End quote. The answer was easy. Yes. Very happy. That morning reminded me that laughter doesn't end Apos. Always come from big surprises or expensive adventures. Sometimes it comes from a squeaky toy, a stolen sock, a silly dance, or a dog who simply wants to see the person he loves smile. Bai never worries about tomorrow. He doesn't end Apos. Think about unfinished work or stressful schedules. He wakes up each day believing it and Apos. Another wonderful opportunity to play, love, and spread happiness. Maybe that and Apo's. That's why dogs make life feel lighter. They notice when we and Apo's retired. They celebrate when we and Apo's re-smiling. And somehow, without saying a single word, they remind us that joy can be wonderfully simple. As I looked at Bai sleeping peacefully beside me, I realized something. Maybe he hadn't and Apo's. He'd been trying to entertain himself that morning. Maybe every silly thing he did. The squeaky duck, the toy collection, the sock chase, the dramatic belly flop, and the conversation with his reflection had only one purpose. To make me laugh. And he succeeded better than any comedian ever could. That morning became one of my favorite memories with Bai. Not because anything extraordinary happened, but because ordinary moments became unforgettable through love, laughter, and a little bit of dog magic.